Recently, there is a rise of health consciousness and holistic content on social media. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. So, today we are discussing this rising trend of holistic health and how we should approach health. Let's go.
What is holistic health? So, holistic health basically means that you take a personalized approach towards your health by doing various treatments, by having a specific diet.
Aim of taking holistic approach to health is to improve the approach of taking care of your health in a less harmful, nature centered and personalized way. Now we are seeing a lot of health content on social media.
And also the rise of various health problems like obesity, cancer, diabetes, and we can see so many viral trends like consuming raw meat, raw milk, doing this therapy, red light therapy, colonics, consuming herbal smoothies, etc. And so every one of us has fallen into some sort of this trend or the other. I myself have started practicing.
I have started checking and questioning the ingredients and have reduced consuming toxic products and also started consuming much healthier and started exercising like stretching, yoga, etc., which has improved my body, mind, and soul's health. With such simple strategies, your life can transform 180 degree. Striving hard to be a holistic girly. It may take time than a lot of conventional treatments, but it's really sustainable and less harmful. Remember, your body is God's temple.
Some of these trends like consuming much healthier alternatives, etc. So how to approach health? So health is basically a state of one's well-being. It may be physical, it may be mental, it may be social, it may be spiritual. Today we are going to focus on the physical health,
We already know the basic tips of staying healthy physically.
like consuming a natural balanced diet.
Drinking adequate amount of water, sleeping for at least 8 to 9 hours, not smoking, drinking, having a good skincare routine, simple one, engaging in physical activity like swimming, sports, yoga, etc., consuming herbal supplements and less harmful stuff as much as possible.
So the first trend is consumption of raw milk and raw meat. We can see the popularity of the carnivore diet and the animal-based diet.
Where we consume fruits and certain vegetables as plant sources and the rest of our food is of animal based sources. Paul Saladino, who was previously promoting the carnivore diet, is now a heavy promoter of animal based diet and has become viral. And he is right in many things. And the carnivore diet is also there where people don't consume animal products, and that is also beneficial for a short term. And there is the vegan diet where you don't consume any animal products at all. And I think that's a sustainable thing. And also, I follow a largely plant based diet.
My personal thoughts are that following these trends is not in and of itself bad.
There are many other trends like keto paleo diet. We have to understand that for most of us, such diets are not sustainable in the long run, with animal based and vegan and vegetarian as exceptions. But if you can follow, you can follow. It's not wrong or sinful to do. Just make sure you consume a proper high protein balanced diet.
The second trend is the raw milk trend. We can see raw milk being politicized and being popular among so many conservatives, and they are saying that you should consume raw milk and you should consume raw meat.
Raw milk contains several nutrients which are killed during the pasteurization process. But raw milk also contains several harmful bacteria like E. coli. So I personally prefer to partially boil the milk so that the nutrients won't be killed but the harmful bacteria will be. It is extremely healthy to consume milk whether raw or pasteurized. Make sure the raw milk comes from a hygienic source.
It is tasty, but personally, because I'm habitual with pasteurized milk, this raw strawberry milk was little unusual to me. But I definitely don't get affected by it. And let me tell you, if you're not consuming raw milk, you're not being morally wrong. Even with the raw meat, I agree it is common in some cultures to consume that.
Raw meat often possesses harmful bacteria and parasites.
about, savings, things like that. It really matters and depends on who your farm is.
This is what I eat as someone who loves and feels really good with raw animal foods. I have tartare with olive oil and honey for breakfast almost every day. With the raw egg yolk, of course, this is so creamy and delicious. And then I add some raw bone marrow, which is so fatty and nourishing for your body as a woman. And then I always make sure I get sunlight in the morning. So I have these raspberries, and a few of them are moldy, but moldy raspberries are actually really good for detoxification. I spent lots of time outside, and I had this glass of raw milk, and I had coffee. And for lunch, I had these bone-in skin on sardines. These are also so good for your skin and for building muscle. And I had this sour.
I have also started consuming iron, omega-3 calcium supplements as I don't get enough nutrition.
So it is better to consume meat cooked. Look, don't fall for any trap.
Third trend is the rise of holistic medicines. So many people are promoting homeopathic Ayurvedic medicines, and they are rejecting modern medicines due to the failures in big pharma and the vaccine mandates and so many other things, which I think is wrong. I believe that holistic medicines are sustainable long term, but I also agree that the blatant rejection of modern medicine, especially in today's times, is also wrong. I believe there should be a balance. In most cases, I prefer holistic medicines, herbal ones, but in some cases, modern medicine and medical sciences is the only way.
While there are some people who say it is religiously wrong and all, I don't think it is in and of itself wrong, unless as long as you separate the spiritual and the physical aspects.
We can see so many benefits in these practices like acupuncture or yogic exercises or medicine. See, as long as you don't believe or do any occultic or sinful thing or worship nature, it's not wrong to do so. I feel really sick that some Christians demonize such things blatantly.
This is demonic possession, and today we're going to explain why this happens in yoga. This is a yoga practice.
Yoga for kids. Even the daycare near my house has a yoga session for little children, for toddlers.
Several Ayurvedic treatments like certain herbal potions or face masks or soaps or even haldi doodh and so many other therapies are actually really beneficial. And there is also a growing trend of acupuncture, acupressure, sound therapy, etc. And many Christians say that it is wrong to practice these things. Look, as long as you don't believe in the new age nonsense of spiritually affecting everything and all, then it's not wrong to do. Just because something isn't rooted in Christianity does not mean it is a wrong thing. In fact, it helps us in our mindfulness, in concentration, etc. Same with meditation. It's good to calm yourself, but be discerning.
I encourage mindfulness meditations as it improves your concentration, emotional intelligence, and so many other things. I also stopped listening to extremist religious garbage and political.
Now the next trend is grounding. Grounding basically means that you remove your shoes and you walk barefoot on the lawn or on the ground so that you connect yourself to nature more. Gonna do grounding.
Reduces pain and improves immune system. It does control your energy cycle.
While there are scientific benefits to this because our body is connected with nature, and yes, we should connect ourselves with nature, but there are also certain beliefs that it affects you spiritually or your spiritual elemental signs, you should be worried, which is wrong. Yes, there are elemental signs, there is the physicality proven in there, but there is hardly any evidence that it affects your spirituality. And hence, doing grounding, it is beneficial for our nervous system and for our bodies and even for our mental health. Believing that it can affect your spirituality is wrong. Next holistic trend is moving in nature and rejecting all the artificial things. There is a rise in sustainability, which is really, really good. And here it is good that people are using more natural alternatives and going to various travel places like beaches and hiking.
I love visiting new places such as beaches, resorts, jungles, etc. It reduces the negative energies around you, it calms your mind and nourishes your soul. You also learn various life and socialization skills, which you won't learn elsewhere.
It affects your mental health and it improves your concentration, your adrenaline, and also you get new experience. Now we will be discussing about the food pyramid. So recently the US Secretary of Health RFK has made a new law and they replaced the Rockefeller style food pyramid with the new pyramid which emphasizes proteins and vitamin minerals the most and carbs are at the least, and you should hardly consume any processed foods. So I think this is a good trend. because consuming excessive carbs increases blood sugar spike, diabetes, whereas consuming a good amount of protein increases your muscle mass, your health, and also improves the wear and tear of your body and concentration, and it also improves your well-being. And we can see how much Indians are weak in their health. Recently we saw the tug of war competition between Indian women and American women.
अरे हम तो देसी लोग हैं, देसी घी खाते हैं और फिर हार जाते हैं। तो हुआ क्या कि राजस्थान में फॉरेनर्स घूमने आए हुए थे तो उन्होंने टग ऑफ वॉर कंपटीशन रखवाया।
And we saw how American women defeated Indians really badly. This is because Indians' diet has a lack of protein and they consume heavy carbs with lots of oil and sugar. Indian parents still stigmatize protein and health consumption and gym also is very very beneficial, and exercises like yoga and all. So let me tell them that please remove this stigmatization, stop listening to rumors, and instead consume more amounts of protein, do good exercising, even if you are a woman or if you are about 60, etc. And let's make India healthy again. And what the Maha movement is doing, it's really really good. Now we'll discuss the red light therapy. Red light therapy means that after sunset you switch off all the blue and white lights and put on the red light. Red light actually has less ultraviolet radiation and it provides beneficial. It is beneficial, but every time you cannot do it. So I think this is kind of optional. Regarding holistic masks and spas, I agree it can be expensive, but you can use other affordable means to do that. And now is the sunscreen trend. There is so many anti-sunscreen propaganda fed. Now I agree many sunscreens contain toxic petroleum derivative products and sodium benzoate, which is carcinogenic. I believe that there are many mineral sunscreens and many other good holistic tallow or butter sunscreens which are really really good to use. Use a high SPF sunscreen, especially if you are fair skinned, and buy a non-toxic one as much as. Firstly, we see the trend of oil pulling and using oil face washes and relying on tallow butter for skincare.
We launched a sunscreen over the summer, and we did a campaign, and we put billboards up that said that people were calling us anti-sunscreen. Our goal was to spark conversation about what does healthy sun exposure look like? How do we interact with the sun wisely? And what is a good SPF option to reach for those times when we are in the sun for extended periods of time? And chemical sunscreens aren't it.
So personally, I have oily skin. So I personally don't encourage these treatments for those who are having oily skin. But if you don't have, you can use a non-comedogenic oil such as grapeseed oil, and I use face washes which have active ingredients such as vitamin C and niacinamide. But I usually don't fall for so many trends because it's too costly and sometimes it can cause the opposite effect. So you should be careful at what social media influencers promote. Sometimes they do faking and sometimes they promote insane stuff. So you should be very careful. You can use the products which they promote, but always consider the factors like age or gender or whether this product has healthier ingredients or not. We also see recently the rise in the food adulteration. We see so much tons of fake paneer, fake milk is seized, even of various popular brands such as Amul, etc.
25 tons of fake ghee was seized in Surat.
Our analysis found that if you eat more than 96 nerds over the course of a year, you are exceeding the allowable threshold of arsenic for a child. When you look at a box that you get in a movie theater, there's 8,000 nerds in it. And you can go to exposingfoodtoxins.com to see this data for yourself. Some of the healthier varietals of candy don't have any arsenic in it. Like
it looks, smells, and tastes like the butter we're all familiar
I
with.
am not against vegan alternatives, but I believe that they are highly processed. And I personally prefer a balanced diet. But I largely prefer a more plant-based diet.
This is pretty novel to be able to make food that looks and tastes and feels exactly like dairy butter.
So they're sort of trying to replace agriculture with laboratory-made food.
And this is really, really bad news. The solution is not to cut milk altogether, but the solution is healthier, transparent products which ensures full transparency, full safety, and also is checked every time. That is why you should consume local homemade products, as you should avoid consuming processed junk as much as possible.
I have started consuming more protein, fiber, and less carbs. Also, you see, organic foods contain pesticides, so wash them thoroughly. Also, you can make various delicious recipes without compromising on your health. Reduced sugar, oily foods heavily. I have also started doing more organic beauty treatments.
Avoid consuming products that are heavy in maida, oil, and sugar because they cause diabetes, stroke, etc. We see so many young people are diagnosed with such diseases, PCOS, infertility, etc. So I encourage to consume non-hormonal supplements as much as possible and take herbal steps as much as possible. Personally speaking, the rise of holistic health influencers has given us a net positive income. Now there is a new trend known as the colonic trend. You go to a clinic, they cleanse you at the cellular level because detoxification is essential. We also get cleaned, like our intestines are washed off using hydrotherapy, and even decades old poop is there in the intestine, and I think that's really necessary. If you can do, you should do. And consume adequate amount of water and add electrolytes as much as possible. Consume more local foods and less exotic foods, and consume healthy carbs, and stop or reduce consuming instant carbs like sugar, chips, etc.
Recently, red light therapy is also trending. It reduces the harmful absorption radiation. It prevents various cancers, so reduce
Still
blue
be
light.
careful with what products you consume because many of the organic non-GMO products also contain harmful materials, and also they are being processed unethically. So you should also take ethical.
If you feel pressure to have a perfect body and perfect health, remember, it's okay if you're not perfect. You should take small baby steps in improving sustainable health approaches rather than going on swiftly and doing it all halfway. We should be extremely discerning with the trends. Oftentimes, influencers promote unrealistic standards.
Here's why you need to stop eating dead meat. Red meat can lead to colon cancer.
The fuck away from food. I'm telling you that. If you're trying to okay to eat, my answer is no.
We should understand that we should love our body and ourselves, but not worship our body, but rather worship God through our bodies. So feel free and be cool. You should be concerned about your body weight and image, but don't get so obsessed with it. Let's strive to build a more healthier, cleaner, and greener earth.
So thank you guys for listening to this holistic health episode. You should implement many of these practices and always understand we have to have a balance between modernity and tradition. And let's revive our ancestral wisdom. Bye.